Nebraska sacked 9 times in this contest. The offensive line really struggled. We know that that's a weakness on this team, but it doesn't help in this contest with the Huskers losing Elijah Pritchett to an ejection in the first half. Also, Rocco Spindler, the Notre Dame transfer, he left with an injury. So Nebraska was down 2 starting offensive linemen. As a result, there are 9 sacks given up by the Huskers in this game. Chase, tell me about the pass protection or lack thereof.
Yeah, Kevin, well, it can be kind of chalked up to 2 things. Obviously, some poor offensive line play and then losing 2 linemen for portions of the game doesn't help. But, also it just felt like Minnesota's secondary really contained Nebraska's passing game. And this one kind of forcing Dylan Raiola to wait around in the pocket. And he got swallowed up numerous times, as you just mentioned. And this was really a surprise for a Nebraska offense that hung over 30 points last week against Maryland and had a big spark in the second half and at just times with big plays. This was an offense that was stagnant tonight and just really unfortunate performance by the offensive line. So personally, I think this one can be chalked up to a combination of the receivers not getting open down the field, along with some poor offensive line play that didn't give Dylan Raiola a ton of time to make throws downfield.
Nebraska's offense, just 213 total yards of offense compared to Minnesota's 339. Chase, you were on the field as the team exited the field and went up that very long tunnel which you're in to get to their locker room. Tell me about the mood. We had some really great video last week, high-fiving fans and a huge celebration. Same could be said about Michigan State, but I'm guessing a very different vibe tonight.
Yeah, 48,000 on attendance here in Minneapolis, but I don't think there was 10,000 Husker fans, maybe close to that number, but it just wasn't the same road environment. It felt like the Golden Gophers' home fans held their own, and there was a lot of Nebraska fans heading to the exits midway through the fourth quarter. And, well, the scene trying to get back to this corridor that I'm in was partly because of a field storming or field rush. It wasn't really all at once. It was in waves, and that was the Golden Gopher fans beating a ranked team at home, something to celebrate. They moved to 5-2, similar to Nebraska. So I don't know if there's fines in the Big Ten, but there was a pseudo field storming after this one at Huntington Bank Stadium.
There are no fines. They let you have fun in the Big Ten. At least I believe that they do. And since you're talking about what happened at the end of the game, tell me about the beginning of the game. Both these teams coming together with a pink out. And I know we haven't touched on it yet, but so many fans are going to talk about the surrender whites, the all-white uniforms. Nebraska, just stop wearing them because they don't seem to win when Nebraska goes white on white.
Yeah, it's not as surrendering of a loss compared to last year's in Bloomington, where they just got the doors blown off. But obviously the uniform combination has not been successful for the Huskers. And I think to touch on the first half, this was a few 3-and-outs and then a few slow drives by Nebraska that got them into field goal range and some costly penalties on both sides of the ball. Nebraska gives up one long run to Minnesota that turns into a Lindsey touchdown rush, but they were still in this game at halftime. Really, it was almost a new game at halftime. 7-6 at halftime. You're down 1. There's still a lot you can do in the second half. Revitalize your offense, but that didn't happen. And then Minnesota got the ball in the third quarter and conducted an over 8-minute drive. To score a touchdown and really put the game away by running so much time off the clock. So that was really the story of this one overall.
That 8-minute drive spanned 14 plays for 98 yards. I believe we can hear Matt Rule now, so let's check in with Nebraska's head coach.
Javen got over the top, played it. We're going to sack the quarterback and defensive holding, right? So, we helped them with a lot of penalties today, to flip the field. At that point, we're kind of starting to have some issues with some bodies. Defensively, some guys were getting banged up, so we kind of had to go to a 4-down front. Took a timeout, and that's the play. You're hoping you make that 4th and 1 stop, and that's the play that kind of ignites you. We don't really have that igniting play in the game.
Are you surprised you weren't able to run the ball more effectively against them?
Well, in the middle of the third quarter, I keep track of the running back. We're averaging like 4.5 yards a carry. But I mean, the sacks were just such stress. You're in third and 2, and it's a sack, and Dylan just got beat up, and there was just a lot of like free runners, a lot of guys. Him getting Emmett. I thought Emmett was really good again tonight. Just getting hit in the backfield. A lot of. They did a lot of things. I came in knowing I knew they were going to blitz us. I said, hey, they're going to blitz you. They're going to pressure you, and we had some RPOs built in to try to beat it, some checks try to beat it. We never really beat it, and so I'll have to watch the tape a little bit more. But I mean, for being honest, I mean, it was kind of like that everywhere, especially in the second half tonight. Like just nothing materialized in the second half, and that was disappointing.
One more, Coach, if there is.
Do you think that is Rocco going to have to stay here tonight? Is he going to?
I have no idea. I literally went in the locker room and came in here, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure honestly what the prognosis is.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys.
That's Nebraska head coach Matt Rhule following the Huskers' 24-6 loss at Minnesota. A different tune from the head coach, and man, what a wild week it's been for Rhule. Obviously connected to the Penn State job, which is his alma mater. Played there, best friends with Pat Kraft, the athletic director. Rhule said that this team was pretty locked in and focused solely on the game, but the performance on the field seems like there was some sort of a distraction, or perhaps give Minnesota some credit. PJ Fleck coached an amazing game as Minnesota controls the clock in the second half, and they beat Nebraska.